My name is Kerrie, and my goal is to inspire healing and meaning in all areas of life. In this podcast, we will dive deep into conversations. From heartbreak to freedom, we will explore different self-care modalities, learn to be the best expressions of ourselves, and to live with purpose. I'm here to offer my personal insights and to share my story in hopes that it will guide you on your path. This is Heal with Care, a journey of self-discovery. I discovered that not everyone is meant to walk with me for my entire life's journey. Over the years, I've come to see that my relationships evolve over time, whether it's with family, friends, coworkers, love interests. As we grow, some of our connections will strengthen, while others will naturally fade away. It's a good reminder that we're not meant to hold on to everyone forever. People will come and go depending on where we are at on our journey. And as we enter different stages of our life, our goals and values, as well as those surround us, will change. If we change together, our relationship will strengthen. If we change in different directions, our relationship will start to fade away. In this episode, I'll dive into these transitions, how to accept them, how to see the lessons, and what I've been able to take away from all of this. Throughout my life, I often felt like I was being uprooted. When I was 8 years old, my family moved from Canada to Jamaica, right in the middle of elementary school. I had to leave my friends behind, and making new friends was challenging for me, especially because I was shy. Back then, there were no cell phones or internet, so staying in touch was not easy. After I moved, I met a few kids who welcomed me into their groups. Just as I began to feel a sense of belonging, it was time to move on to high school, and everything changed again. We were all scattered. Some friends went to different high schools, while others ended up in the same school but different classrooms. I never used the phone, so I only saw my classmates in person. It felt like every time I was placed in a new class, I lost touch with the friends I had just made. I just didn't know how to keep those connections alive. Our friendships seemed tied to the time we spent together in the same class, and once that time ended, we drifted apart. In the middle of high school, my family decided to move back to Canada. I don't remember telling my friends I was leaving, so once again, I lost touch with them. Starting at a new high school was difficult. Everyone already had their group of friends, and I was the new kid. I discovered that through team sports, I can easily make connections to my community. Being part of a community where everyone is working to get together towards the same goal, having fun, and enjoying each other's company while doing something we all love. I had joined my high school's dragon boating team, but it was short-lived. After 2 years on the team, it was time for me to move on again. When I went to college, I was determined to find my people. None of my high school friends were attending the same college, so I decided to join the college badminton team as a way to meet new people. I spent a lot of time training and traveling with these people, but as college ended, we eventually branched off and went our separate ways. When I started working, my coworkers became my friends. I've always felt like coworkers were like a second family. Spending 8 hours a day in a place with them made me want to create a positive and enjoyable working environment. We'd chat, share stories, we'd get to know each other. At least that has been my experience. I found that I usually found something in common with my coworkers, whether it was talking about our day, our hobbies, our plans, or our shared interests. As technology advanced, coworkers came and went, but I began to keep in touch with some of them through phone and social media. I also found some of my old friends on Facebook. As I got older, I joined various sports clubs and made friends through the activities I was participating in. Yet what I found was that whenever I had a really good connection with someone, Something would come up in life, and they would have to move away to another country. I sometimes joke that this is part of my karma in life, not having friends for a very long time because either I would move away or they would move away. Since I had a hard time keeping my friends nearby, I found that a lot of my friends now can be found all over the world. Some I've even met through online community groups. What I've come to realize is that we are all on our own individual journeys. People will come into our lives for a period of time and then they will go, each playing a specific role in our lives. Some are here to help us along the way, keep us company, maybe teach us a lesson or two, or inspire us in some meaningful way before we part ways and continue forward. That doesn't mean we won't cross paths again. I wholeheartedly believe that some people who weren't a significant part of my life in my younger years have become more meaningful in my life today. In fact, people I wasn't particularly close to in high school now feel more aligned with me as an adult. When it comes to the broader connection we form outside of our immediate circle, there will always be people you feel drawn to, those you share a connection with. Perhaps you meet because your goals or values align at this time. You have a lot in common, and it might feel like you're best friends for life. But as it unfolds, things can shift for one or both of you. You'll either support each other through those changes, and other times you'll naturally drift apart. I've experienced this firsthand with people I thought I would stay close with forever. For example, I had a friend in high school who I was very good friends with, and we did a lot together. But as something in their life changed, they began picking up addictive habits and going down a darker path. I realized that I couldn't save them, nor did I want to follow them there. Though I had tried to talk this friend out of going down this path, there was only so much that I could do. I realized I couldn't change them, that they had to be willing to do the work and want to make that change for themselves. It became clear that it was time for me to move on. And even though they moved out of the country and our paths completely changed, it felt like I didn't know them anymore. In my previous relationship, it was all about being active and partaking in different physical activities. We shared similar views of life, and we just wanted to have fun. But over time, our perspectives began to shift. I started to envision new goals and aspirations for my life, while he wanted to continue doing the same things. It felt like my life was evolving, but he wanted to remain the same. My goals changed while he was content on staying where he felt comfortable, and for him, that was okay. In this case, I changed, and he didn't change with me. So our relationship naturally drifted apart. Have you ever heard someone say, "I really like your vibe"? Vibe is short for vibration, referring to the energy or frequency we give off. I believe we're all vibrating at different levels, depending on what's happening in our lives. Low vibrations often come with feelings of sadness, grief, or depression, while high vibrations are associated with contentment, happiness, joy, and moments where we feel on top of the world. Our frequency shifts based on our experiences, emotions, and mindset. And as we move through life, we tend to attract and connect with people who are vibrating at a similar frequency. The energy we put out draws in those who resonate with us, shaping the connections we form along the way. I think about the tuning fork experiment as the perfect example of how energy and resonance work. If you take two tuning forks, one at 128 Hz and another at 440 Hz, and strike the 440 Hz fork, the 128 Hz fork remains still. However, if you take two tuning forks both at 440 Hz and strike one of them, the other will begin to vibrate in response. This demonstration shows how we naturally resonate with people who are on the same frequency as us. When our energies align with someone else's, we feel that effortless connection. But when frequencies don't match, there is no resonance. just like the tuning forks that remain unaffected by each other. I experienced a situation at a networking event where I realized I wasn't aligned with the people seated next to me. At one point, I was seated at a table with a few others when a group of ladies joined our table. I greeted them and tried to strike a conversation. While they were polite, it was clear they weren't interested in engaging beyond saying hello. I had asked a few open-ended questions but received only short, closed responses. I had sensed that I might not be their cup of tea, or they wanted to just keep to themselves. So I decided not to waste my time and energy. Instead, I shifted my focus to the person sitting on the other side of me. At different points in life, we all really want to feel like we belong, that the world will embrace us with open arms. But what I've learned is that this doesn't always happen. With so many different personality types, not everyone will resonate with you. And when we outgrow each other, we need to recognize when it's time to let go and move on. Through therapy, I've learned that I can only control what I can control, and that's me. Over the years, I've realized that I can't change people to match my energy. Change has to come from them. Looking back, I can see how I fell into the trap of thinking everything should go my way. I was narrow-minded and I didn't always consider the other person's perspective. But as I've grown, I've come to understand that we all have our own experiences and change happens when we're ready. Some of us may evolve and grow faster than others, and that's where we can fall into the trap of trying to pull someone along at our own pace. But growth isn't something we can force. This realization led me to see that life is also a solo journey, where people enter and exit our lives at different times. Instead of trying to change others to meet me where I am, I now focus on embracing the natural flow of relationships and trusting that the right people will align with me when the time is right. Just because someone leaves doesn't mean we're without support. Sometimes leaving makes space for someone new to step in. Not everyone is going to be aligned with you, and that's okay. Sometimes we cross paths with others to learn important lessons, whether they're positive or challenging. It's a reminder that we don't need to be everyone's cup of tea to find our place in this world. Our community isn't a one-size-fits-all. There are so many other groups and connections waiting for us. When I moved to a new town with my partner, I had to navigate an unfamiliar community. There were moments of hope and moments of disappointment, but each experience brought me closer to understanding where I truly belong. If you ever feel like you don't fit in, remember you don't have to stay where you don't feel aligned. The right people are out there, whether in your local community or on an online space. I've found deep connections in online communities that are just as meaningful as in-person ones. But putting myself out there, I've discovered pockets of people who resonate with my energy and my values. I may not be for everyone, and that's okay, because I know the right connections will always find their way to me. And the same is true for you. You may not align with the people around you right now, but that doesn't mean your people aren't out there. Keep seeking, keep showing up as yourself, and when you find them, you will know. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope you found this episode insightful. If you feel called to, please share this podcast, subscribe to it, and leave a rating and review. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can email me at healwithcare@gmail.com or follow me on Instagram at healwithcare. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next episode.